Although Naamah is briefly mentioned in the Bible, her family made a significant impact in Israel. What information do we have about Naamah and her family? Furthermore, how did her marriage to Solomon affect future generations? In this examination, we will delve into these biblical characters and the legacy they left. Before we start, please subscribe to our channel and share where you are tuning in from and how you're feeling today. Naamah was the spouse of Solomon, a wise and celebrated king of Israel. However, she was also an Ammonite, a group not highly regarded by the Israelites. The Ammonites, along with the Moabites, even attempted to curse Israel by hiring the famous Balaam. Naamah's connection to the Ammonites had serious repercussions. According to divine law, her descendants could not enter the assembly of the Lord for up to the 10th generation. But the story does not end there. When the Israelites disobeyed God by worshipping idols, he allowed Elgon, the king of Moab, to have power over Israel. Elgon allied with the Ammonites and the Amalekites and attacked the people, conquering their city, the City of Palms. Interestingly, Naamah means the beautiful. It is strange that Solomon married an Ammonite, but it is likely that he was deeply in love with her. However, this marriage had negative consequences, not only for Solomon, but also for future generations. Naamah's father, Shobi, had provided assistance to David and his people when they were in trouble in the desert. David may have wanted to repay the kindness by marrying his daughter into their family, but this resulted in an uneven union between Solomon and Naamah. Initially, Solomon married the pharaoh's daughter, which was a legitimate royal marriage. However, he soon became enamored with various foreign women, including Naamah. The issue was that he amassed an impressive harem of 1,000 wives and concubines. As 1 Kings 11, verse 3 states, he had 700 wives of royal lineage and 300 concubines, and his wives turned his heart away from God. Despite his mother's warning about the danger that women could pose to kings, Solomon continued to interact with them. These women came from different nations, such as the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Sidonians, and Hittites, and practiced various religions with foreign gods. Tragically, Solomon, who initially worshipped the one true God, ended up straying and building altars for these foreign gods, promoting idol worship. This illustrates the violation of an essential principle of God's law. Deuteronomy 17 verse 17 warned that kings should not have many wives, for it would lead them astray. Surprisingly, Solomon wasn't the first king to break this rule. His father, David, also had multiple wives. One could argue that Solomon might have considered this acceptable, following his father's example. However, this shows us how sin can be a slippery slope, leading us deeper into immoral behavior. Rehoboam was born a year before his father, Solomon, assumed the throne of Judah and Israel. However, he was not raised with God's principles and virtues. At the age of 41, Rehoboam became king after his father's death. However, the story's central character was about to return, Jeroboam. While Solomon was still alive, a prophet named Ahijah had predicted that Jeroboam would become the king of Israel. Discontent with this prophecy, Solomon tried to assassinate Jeroboam, forcing him into hiding. After Solomon's death and Rehoboam's rise to power, Jeroboam reappeared. Due to Solomon's controversial actions, the United Kingdom of Judah and Israel began to crumble. Jeroboam ruled Judah, the smaller southern region, and Rehoboam led Israel, the larger northern part. Jeroboam joined forces with the people of Israel and requested that Rehoboam ease the heavy burden of labor that Solomon had placed on them, promising to serve him in return. Seeking advice, Rehoboam consulted the elders who advised him to heed the Israelites' pleas and ensure their future servitude. However, his peers advised him to increase the workload, and regrettably, he followed their counsel, resulting in the loss of half his kingdom. During Rehoboam's reign, the nation of Judah turned away from God, erecting altars and worshiping idols, disobeying God's command to worship him alone. Sin weakened Jerusalem, and it was conquered by Shishak, the king of Egypt, in the 5th year of Rehoboam's reign. The invaders looted the treasury of the Lord's temple and the palace. Solomon's golden shields were taken, and Rehoboam had to have bronze shields made. He remained in conflict with Jeroboam, but after 17 years, his reign came to an end. His son Abijah ascended the throne for only 3 years after his father's death. Ultimately, Rehoboam and his family left a disastrous legacy in their wake. It can be difficult to determine when Solomon and Rehoboam turned away from God. Was it when Solomon ignored biblical wisdom and married multiple wives? Or was it when he constructed altars to false gods? Sin can be like a slippery slope, where a small misstep leads to more, until the individual finds themselves in a deep pit. Getting out of this pit can be challenging. It's important to keep in mind that God has the ability to renew our hearts, regardless of how far we may have strayed, just as he did with David. However, Rehoboam did not turn back to God, and instead remained entrenched in sin, leaving behind a cautionary tale for us to learn from today. This story serves as a reminder of the significance of recognizing our mistakes and seeking redemption, even when we are at our lowest point. It is a powerful lesson about how sin can gradually ensnare us, but also about the hope that we can always find our way back to the right path with God's assistance. King Solomon's marriage to Naamah and other foreign women had unintended consequences, introducing the traditions of their pagan gods into his family's life and the kingdom of Israel. Solomon built altars to these foreign gods, and his son followed his example. It raises the question of how many people in the kingdom were affected by the actions of these two kings. Did they pass by these altars daily until they, too, began to worship these foreign gods? Did they pass down this tradition to their children and their children's children? As relational beings, our actions and sins do not exist in isolation. They have lasting effects. It's an important reminder of how the choices we make today can shape the future of generations to come. Therefore, we should reflect on how our actions can impact not only our own lives, but also the world around us and the generations that will follow us. During his reign, Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, made several poor decisions, but one decision stood out. He ignored the advice of the elders and listened to his peers instead, resulting in losing half of his kingdom. This serves as a reminder that the people we surround ourselves with have a significant impact on our lives. It's crucial to engage with people of different beliefs to promote the kingdom of God, but we must also be cautious about who we seek advice from and allow to influence our decisions. Proverbs 13:20 advises to walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. Perhaps Rehoboam's story would have been different if he had listened to the elders instead of his peers. The story of Naamah's family is a tragic one, but it teaches us valuable lessons. Solomon started as a man devoted to God, but he fell deeper into patterns of sin after taking 1,000 wives, including Naamah. It can be argued that his son, Rehoboam, had an even worse fate, growing up in an environment that did not value God and continuing his father's pagan traditions. The story of Naamah serves as a powerful reminder that our family's past need not be a tale of tragedy. Regardless of where we find ourselves, God is a God of restoration. David once proclaimed, "God rewrote the text of my life when I opened the book of my heart to his eyes." Should we turn to God, he has the power to transform even the most heartbreaking of stories into legacies of beauty and grace. Thus, we must always remember the importance of the company we keep and the restorative power of God in our lives and families. Keep an eye out for more reflections and teachings on our channel, and don't forget to subscribe and show your support. Until then, take care. May the presence of God be a constant in your life, bringing blessings, joy, and love. God bless you.